This is Alex Hilton with Mike Hobday, the newly selected candidate for Welwyn Hatfield and Head of Campaigns and Public Affairs at the League Against Cruel Sports. Mike, congratulations on your selection.
Thanks very much indeed. I mean, I've been involved with the Welwyn Hatfield party for many years now, but it obviously was a little bit daunting to be right there at the top as the public face. But looking forward to an interesting few years.
Right, so anyone interesting on the shortlist? Who's on the shortlist?
There's a number of candidates from all over the country applied. I mean, I think because we're one of the more marginal seats, Welwyn Hatfield was the second to choose its candidate across the country. So lots of people applied, but there was mainly local people from in and around Hertfordshire who were on the shortlist.
Right. So, Welwyn Hatfield, we lost that one at the last general election.
That's right. Melanie Johnson was the MP, and she'd served 8 years. But the Labour vote had fallen over time, and my job obviously is to build it back up again.
So how are you going to do that?
I think the important thing is that for the Labour Party to be seen to be in touch with the local community. Grant Shapps, the Conservative MP, is very active, and Labour needs to show on behalf of the community that we can do just the same, that we can represent people's aspirations, speak up for their issues of concern to them, issues like the health service provision in the area, show them that Labour is fighting on their side.
So what are the major issues there?
The big issue at the moment is clearly the health service. John Reid came down before the general election and promised a big new hospital. We're still hoping it's going to happen, but nothing is happening at the moment, and local people are concerned. They're concerned at the reorganisation of the health service that's taking place to save money in Welwyn Hatfield as across the South East, and they don't know where the health service is going. There's a lack of clarity, and the Labour Party has got to be there, bringing clarity to the process, showing people that there's an effective voice for the local community, speaking to ministers in Westminster.
Okay, so why are you standing for Parliament, Mike?
Well, I've worked as a lobbyist for the League Against Cruel Sport, so I've worked for an MP, and I've seen at first hand that the real things that effective MPs can do on behalf of their constituents, on behalf of policy issues, making the country a better place to live in. Equally, I've seen MPs who are not so good at it. I hope that I could be one of the former, and that's why I put my name forward.
So you're Head of Public Affairs at the League Against Cruel Sports. So is that at the core of what you are, or is that just one of the things you're interested in?
That's one of many issues that I believe strongly in. Not being cruel to animals, not causing suffering to children, attacking poverty, issues like the environment in the third world. By profession, I'm a campaigner. I'm the sort of person who takes an issue and speaks up on behalf of it, tries to drive change through, as part of creating a more progressive society.
Right. So what's the one thing you'd like to achieve if you could only achieve one thing in Parliament?
I think what I'd like to do is continue to help to continue to build on the positive things that the government has done. I think the things that I'm most proud of that Labour has achieved are things like the minimum wage, like the working families tax credit, the redistribution of wealth and opportunity to people in society that need it most. Sometimes I think the Labour Party doesn't boast about these things, but I'd like to get into Parliament to drive those issues forwards.
All right. So if you were drawn top of the private members' ballot shortly after getting elected in Welwyn Hatfield, what's your private members' bill going to be?
I think of an issue like that, I would be talking to people in Welwyn Hatfield about what was important to them. I think private members' bills are a real opportunity for Parliament to reconnect with the public as a whole, for the issues that the public think are important, to get debated in Parliament, to show people that what happens in Parliament really makes a difference to their lives. And so I'd look for a big consultation exercise on that.
Right, moving on, what are your thoughts on the transition that the party is going through at the moment, or is going to be going through in the next few months?
Well, I think it's clearly long overdue. I mean, Tony Blair did great things for the Labour Party, but it is time to move on, and it's been time to move on for a while. I'm very hopeful that Gordon Brown will take over as party leader. He's been involved in the issues that I mentioned that I'm most proud of, the minimum wage and so forth. I think Gordon Brown comes from a very clearly ethical stance, a belief that politics is about a vision of society. And I think, in the days of spin and so forth, that element of politics too often gets lost in the media coverage.
Okay, and do you have views on the deputy leadership? What will you be looking for in a deputy leader?
I think the deputy leadership is in a sense, it's much more interesting because it's so wide open, and I'm looking to see what the candidates have to say. But I'm looking for somebody who will not just be part of the party machine, who will be a clear voice for party members and for the issues that Labour believes in. I think John Cruddas' idea of separating the roles of deputy party leader and deputy and prime minister is a very positive one, and whoever is elected as deputy leader, I think that's a model that we should look closely at.
Okay, but isn't that a role for the party and party members to decide how the party's organised, not for one of the candidates?
Well, the deputy leadership is the appointee of the party. I mean, we will have the biggest democratic exercise that there's ever been outside a public election. The massed ranks of levy-paying trade unionists casting their votes, all party members, all MPs. The election of leader and deputy leader is a major exercise in democracy that will hopefully revitalise the party and provide that voice, that face, that figurehead for party members.
Is there anything you'd like to add to wind up?
Just to say, I'm very grateful to the opportunity that the members of the Welwyn Hatfield Labour Party have given me to be their standard bearer at the general election. Labour's done a lot of really good things for Welwyn Hatfield, but over the years we have lost that trust, and my job is to win it back.
Mike Hobday, thank you very much.
Thank you.